Happy to have her back here. It's Congresswoman Debbie Lesko from Arizona. Congresswoman, good to see you this morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's very humid here in Washington, D.C. I prefer the Arizona heat over Washington, D.C. heat.
Yeah, I'm sure you miss it out there. I know a lot of people are flocking to Arizona right now. I want to ask you about this. What is your goal going in today's hearing? What's in your mind when you walk in today and listening to that testimony from the brother of George Floyd and others?
Well, I want to listen. I want to have an open mind, but I also want to correct misinformation. So I'm curious to see what all the different Democratic witnesses will say. If there's some information that I believe is incorrect based on statistics, I plan to correct it for the record. I think it's good that we go in having an open mind. I'm not a black. I do have 2 black grandsons, and I don't want them to be discriminated against when they get older. And so I have an open mind, but again, there's no way that I am going to support defunding or disbanding the police. That is absolutely crazy, outrageous, and we cannot let the liberal left take over our country.
I know that you've probably seen some of the proposed reforms, if you will, banning chokeholds, asking officers to always have their body cams on. There's, I think, a little bit of talk in there to making it easy to prosecute officers if something's gone bad, allowing you to see the conduct of officers if there was any misconduct. Is there anything on there? Because I know it's written by the Democrats. Is there anything on there written by the Democrats that you're saying that you said, okay, hey, maybe the Republicans could go along with that?
Yes, there is. There are certain things, and I've talked to a police association yesterday from Arizona, and they said we're already doing some of the things that are included in this bill. In Arizona, though, we already have a ban, I guess you'd call it a ban, on using the chokeholds unless it's the last resort. And you don't want to take the chokeholds or the carotid restraints away if that is the only resort you have except lethal force, because if you take it away and that's all there is left, then it will cause more deaths. And so you don't want the reverse impact. So these things have to be looked at very carefully. And I hope that we talk to police about this because they are on the job. They're boots on the ground and they know what happens. There's already a problem recruiting police across America. And you can imagine why. They have a tough job. It's dangerous. Plus now they're being, kind of like talked against by all these people, and these protesters, rioters, I should say, are throwing things at the police. We have to balance this. Of course, we don't want bad cops out there. There are bad cops, just like there are in every career. There are people that do bad things, and they need to be brought to justice, as they are in this case. But you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You need police in our communities. Most police are good police, and we need to support them.
Last question for you. I want to ask you really quick here about, there was an article that came out on CNN citing recent spikes in coronavirus cases. Specifically, Arizona was called out on this and saying that 76% of ICU beds are already full in Arizona. There was somewhat of an emergency happening in your state. Any truth to that? What have you heard?
Well, we've always been about 80% capacity on the ICU beds. So there is one of the Banner Health hospitals, which is the biggest network, has, I think, 7 or 9 of these machines, lung machines. Like if your lungs totally shut down, it's beyond ventilator. It's a special machine that particular health center is out of, but there's plenty of capacity in other hospitals and other health providers. So we're not in a crisis mode in Arizona. In fact, in Arizona, I ate breakfast at a restaurant yesterday, and people are there. We're very much for freedom in Arizona, and so we're pretty much back to normal in Arizona.
Congresswoman, I appreciate you coming on, always sharing the insight there in the beautiful state of Arizona, and I know you're back in D.C. doing the good work. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. All right.